like you really don't have to travel far to experience much. You only have to travel within yourself, and you will experience a lot.
Welcome to the Less Trodden Path podcast, a dedication to untangling the world in a raw and honest way, following your gut and your dreams, no matter what they may be. Often they are different to what is known as the norm, a step out of the comfort zone, the path less tread. We are here to help inspire you to take your own path by sharing both our own journey and the stories of others too, making it clear along the way that anyone can do it, whatever it may be, with all the ups and downs, the good, the bad, the pretty, the ugly included. Dreams take time, but if you put your all into it, time doesn't mean anything. This week we speak with Denise and dive into her journey from quitting her job into the unknown to her self-discovery, her trip to India that shaped the path she has since created, including the changes along the way, and the truth behind some of the more challenging parts of van life. Sometimes, to find yourself, the journey inwards may be more beneficial, maybe what you're actually in need of, rather than the external search. From the lows to the highs, here is Denise's Less Trodden Path.
This factory is not my home. Inside the machine, it's just not for me. No spending my savings, 'cause I don't have any. There's too many places to go. I'll be spending all my time living out my bucket list.
Yeah, it's everywhere in Portugal.
Oh, that's
So we
crazy.
are always 1 hour behind.
Yeah, so you're
Yeah.
the same time as the UK rather than Europe.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so strange. I didn't
Yeah.
know. But then I wasn't sure either if you were in is it Denmark that you're from?
I'm from Sweden,
Sweden.
but we've been living in Denmark.
Oh, okay, yeah. So
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if those countries were like slightly, if they were like 2 hours ahead from the UK, or I was so confused.
Only one. Yeah,
But yeah, I'm glad that we managed to
yeah.
sort it out anyway, because yeah,
It's not the first time it happens for me.
Okay,
Like,
that's
oh my
alright.
god, I thought it was an hour ago, or like, I'm waiting for you. I was like, yeah, it's still 1 hour. Like, it has happened so many times.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, at least we're here, so it's all good. But how are you? How's the house? Like, really intrigued to know all about it, because
Yeah.
it's so exciting.
Right now we are in an apartment that we
Okay.
have rented.
Yeah.
So we get access to the house in the 29th of April, so that's very soon. So we have not seen the house yet. Yes, we have seen the house when we bought it, of course, but
Yeah.
we have not seen the house for now.
Okay.
4 months.
Wow.
So we're really, really looking forward to get into the house again.
I bet. How did you come across
Yeah.
it then? Like, were you in Portugal looking for it, or did it just happen?
Actually, that was like when we started van life. We always had a goal that we wanted to go down to Portugal, like by the end of our van life journey,
Yeah.
to go down to look for a community where we knew where we wanted to settle, because we always knew that we wanted to settle somewhere else than Scandinavia.
Yeah.
And then COVID happened, and we came to Portugal earlier than expected. And yeah, we were stuck here. And then we're like, we can just start looking at houses. And then this house just popped up, and we totally fell for it. So we're like, yeah, this is it. We have to go for it.
Wow. That's awesome. That's like when
Yeah.
you know that you're, it's really meant to be.
Yeah, exactly. It really felt that way. So even though we did not live van life for that long, but our van has served its purpose,
Yeah,
helping us to find our community where we want to settle. So that's amazing.
Yeah, that is. And are you selling the van now, or
We have actually sold it already.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah,
That's
yeah. It went so quickly. It was crazy. Yeah.
Because how long were you in the van for?
Sorry?
How long were you in the van for exactly?
A little bit under a year. who lived in it.
Okay.
So it's still like a long time.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
But yeah, it was very ambivalent to sell the van because we put so much effort and love into it. But we knew that the money we got from the van are like, they are very, very like well invested in our new house and in our new dreams. So that feels good.
That's amazing. Oh, I'm so excited for you. I remember seeing the post, like, no way, like they bought a house in Portugal. Wow. Awesome. But,
it has happened so many things for us these last 2 years. It's absolutely crazy.
Amazing. That's exciting. Well, before we kind of dive into all that a little bit more, are you good to kind of go straight into it? If we just record and just go?
Yes, cool? I am.
Awesome. Fab.
Just do it. Cool. Yeah.
Just to confirm, just so that you know that we are recording and there's no, you're not like halfway through a sentence and like, hang on.
Oh, okay. That's good to know.
Awesome.
It actually feels nice that it's like, only a conversation and like not like, oh my God, what should I say,
No, honestly, we want to make it as chilled as possible. So
yeah, nice.
Yeah, it's nothing like, questions and answers. Like it's just, let's just chat.
I like that.
But following on then from what you were saying, like obviously you've, because you said it took you 2 years to kind of come to where you are now, right? So how did you, like, what was those 2 years like? What did you do and what made you start the 2 years? And, what's kind of been your story from way back then to kind of now, if that even makes sense?
Yeah, that's what can I say? A big question. But it all started when I quit my full-time job. I was in a job, I liked what I was doing, but I did not really like the 9 to 5 stuck. Like you have to go to work and be there like a couple of hours and then go back home. That kind of lifestyle has never really like spoken to me. So I quit my full-time job, and from there I was like, okay, I have no clue what to do next. The only thing that I had booked, or the only thing, it's quite a big thing, but it was that I should go to India and to do my first yoga teacher training. And that was approximately like 1 month after that I quit my full-time job. So I had 1 month that I would just, recover and just relax and, come back to myself after a really intense period it was an intense period for me when I was quitting my job. And then I went to India and to do my 200 hours yoga teacher training, and from there my life just completely changed.
Did you before you kind of go further into that, did you already know that you wanted to do yoga, go to India and all that before you quit your job, or did it just kind of were you already doing it, or did it just come about?
Yes, I did know. So I actually had already booked it before I quit my job. So I knew that I was going to India either way. So it was nice to know. And the reason why I wanted to do that was more to, dive deeper into my own practice. It was not really for me to start teaching, actually. It was more for me to, it was more an investment really in myself to get to know myself better and but from there everything just took a different turn.
Yes, definitely. I mean, I definitely resonate with that because it's very similar to kind of what happens.
Kind of aligns with your story.
Yeah, like I feel like we have so much in what's the word? In common. That's the one. In common, because that's pretty much what I did as well. Or very, very similar, so I kind of really resonate with that. But how did you find, the whole journey in India and your 200 hour, like when was the switch that you kind of, when did you feel the, when did you decide that this was actually going to be your future rather than just a way of just, how many weeks was it? A month, did you say?
Yeah, exactly, a month.
Yeah, so how did you decide that it was going to be what you were going to kind of continue with moving forwards?
Yes, it's also a good question. Like, I did not know that like this is gonna be my future, but I knew that okay, I really need to like dive even deeper into this. So actually, because I have done two 200 hours yoga teacher training, this was my first one. So this was more like opened the door for a whole new world for me. Because when I got there, I realized, oh, this is really what I have been searching. I have always wanted to connect with people on a deeper level, and I wanted to be like study psychology, but I never done that. And then I found yoga, and that just took me on a different I could see another way to work with people on a deeper level, that you don't have to be a psychologist to do that. You can also do that as a yoga teacher and with meditation and as a coach. So that really opened up like a new way for how I saw how you can work with people on a deeper level. So from there I just I have taken so many courses, and I've been working on myself for the last 2 years a lot.
Because I read on your website about this brief, what you're kind of saying now, and I saw that it's, you've been in this for 2 years now, and obviously because you've been working so much on yourself and you've put a lot of your time and energy into, qualifications, I guess, and learning more and deepening your knowledge about it all. How's kind of those 2 years been? What are there, because I'm assuming that you've kind of still been doing some work here and there and, to kind of keep yourself afloat, but also maybe you haven't. Like, how have you found those 2 years? Because I think diving into something like you did and then not having anything, I guess, certain maybe for 2 years, unless you have had, I don't know. But how have those 2 years been, for you? And I'm assuming you're perhaps still coming through it,
it's a never-ending journey. When you start working on yourself, it never ends. You open the door and you can never go back. But these 2 years was really the beginning steps to like realize and getting to know myself better. But these 2 years has been amazing, but also very rough. And it's actually now 2 years after I start to realize that, what can I say? That a breakdown is also a breakthrough.
Yes.
Because I really after I quit my job and I was like I said, I was completely lost. I had no clue, and I had a total crisis. Like I did not know who I was anymore, and that was really like a breakdown for me. But now 2 years after, I can see how that also has been a breakthrough for me. So it's a roller coaster really, but an amazing one.
And definitely worth it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, especially
absolutely.
Just seeing what you're kind of sharing now through your Instagram page and your website is just how far you've come from 2 years ago to now is just incredible. And to know that who knows what it will be in 2 more years and things like that.
Exactly.
Is very exciting in a way, I guess. Even like you said, even with the breakdowns can only break through. So that's
I like that.
Really,
it's a really good quote.
What were kind of over the last 2 years? Because when did you decide to do the van and stuff? So what kind of happened with that?
Yeah, that was actually like a parallel story, we can say. Because that I with my partner, it's me and my partner who has built it. And we lived in Copenhagen, and we had tried van life for 2 years before we actually built our own. And we knew from that point that, okay, one day we want to build our own van. And so when I quit my full-time job, we realized, okay, shall we go with this dream? And we and we decided to do that. So it was a kind of a parallel story. So at the same time I worked a lot on myself. We also built this van together, because we wanted together to build another life for us, which invites more freedom. So actually my fiance, he's also working remote, so that was also like a part for our journey together, that we both also find jobs that are remote, so we can live a lifestyle that we wanted to live. So yeah, during these 2 last years, there are so many things happening, like parallel to each other, but they are also connected.
Definitely. I kind of just want to go straight into kind of a bit deeper into like the hardest times and the best times, whilst we were on the kind of parallel story. Like, what, was there a time where it was just kind of so low that you just, because obviously you said, you had that breakdown when you quit your job, but then, how did you come around it? Was it India that brought you back up? Was it something else? How has that roller coaster kind of been? And, I'm assuming you still have it now, right? Like, that roller coaster is still going and it always will. So especially being a life coach, kind of, how do you work around it? And how do you take the step to quit your job and into the unknown and find that dream and follow it?
Yeah, that also like $1 million question, right? It sounds so easy when you say it, but it's really about it's about courage. To daring throwing yourself out there, and to gather this courage, it takes a lot. So. And for me, like when I was quitting my job, at that point, I got a lot of support from my partner. Because he saw that I wasn't happy at that point. So he was really supported, and he supported me to we will fix this. So you just quit your job and we figure out what to do next. And that, of course, helped me a lot to take, the big step to quit my job. But from there, when I quit my job, I had no clue what to do. The biggest gift that I gave myself was just to give myself time. Time to just be, time to reflect, and time to be still. That was really, really like the biggest thing I could give myself, because without that, I would never be where I'm at today.
Yeah, I think connection and reflecting with yourself is so important. For sure.
Yeah, it is, and we don't take so much time for to do that in our everyday life. So when I quit my job and did not have I didn't really have anything to do, so the only thing I could do was just started to relax, and then I became very, very curious on myself, and I had so many aha moments when I realized aha moments about myself. And
do you think it helped that you already had India booked, or do you think you would have kind of still found it the same if you hadn't had it booked, or did India really help to kind of pull through that month and just have almost something to look forward to keep you busy?
Yeah, I really think that it helped that I already had it booked. Also because financially I had already paid for it during the time I had a proper job. So that helped. But I knew that I always wanted to do it, and like I said, that was only my first one. I have done a second one as well. I did that one last year. So I'm certain that in other way I would have gotten there, but just another way.
So what between kind of, I guess, India, because I guess when you got back from India, kind of what were your steps then? You said that you had really found yourself a bit more and all that, but what did you do then? Like, because I'm assuming you didn't, you didn't have a job. Maybe did you go looking for something, or did you just try and figure things out yourself?
Yeah, at that time I realized like, okay, I want to do more with this, or I want to dive deeper into this field. So I did that, but also, like you said, I also needed to have a job.
Yeah.
I needed to have a job to support both my dream, but also our van life dream. Like I said, like it's stories that are parallel to each other.
Yeah.
And so I actually found a part-time job in Denmark,
Okay.
which I could do remotely, which I still have today.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, so that is like the financial support I have today. So it's only like part-time, so it's 2 times a week, but that is enough for us living this life, and for me also having time and energy to work on my own stuff, because that is where my heart is. But I realized that I also need to have like a financial support to stand on to begin with.
Yeah, that's interesting.
That's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Did you think that when you kind of set off on your journey to India, did you think it would result in you being in Portugal?
Yeah,
No, I would not have, like, when I'm thinking back, like, from there, like,
What do you think?
no, I would never dreamt of like us buying a house today, like in such a short amount of time. Because me and my fiance, we have been talking about moving for a long time, but like I said, we did not knew where we wanted to move, and that is also why we wanted to live van life, because then we would have time to to find our space and our community, but that it should take such a short amount of time, I would never have had imagined that.
I mean,
it's meant to be when it just comes
when it
along,
just
and
happens.
I like that you have just kind of almost thrown yourself into it as well. You've just gone for it, and through it you've done this van life, you've done your own kind of journey business as well as your other work, and you've got a puppy still as well, Lulu.
Yeah, we do.
Young. When did she
Yes.
come along? Because she's still quite little, right?
Yeah, she was a puppy. She's only like 1 year and 2 months now.
Yeah, so you must have got her just before the van?
Yeah.
Wow.
So just like 2 months before we moved into it.
That's so sweet. That's awesome.
But like I said, that was also like something, she is also like, just popped up at the right moment. We always wanted a dog, and then she just popped up, and we were like, okay, let's just do it.
Oh, I love it. That's the way to do it. That's the way to, when it feels right, you just go for it. If there's any and ahs, then you're going to keep and ahhing for most of the things or most of your life. But damn, girl, that's the way to do it.
Yeah, it's all about, like I said, it's all about courage and daring to throw yourself out there into the unknown.
Well, it's like if you don't do it, if you don't put yourself out there, then you'll never know. And you can always hear other people's opinions, you can always go off what they say, but everyone's opinion, everyone's my words are not with me today. Everyone's experience is different, right? It's different to everyone else's. So what someone might feel or get from the experience will be completely different to yours. So if you don't go do it yourself, you can't, even if that person who tells you, for example, not to do it, like, you won't know that for yourself until you've gone. If you come back and go, you were right, like, that's fine. But at least you went and did it yourself.
Exactly. And that is like, actually from that, all like everything I do is born from that, thinking that you have all your answers within yourself. Like, you only have to find them.
Yes.
But in today's life, like I said, like, that is also why the biggest gift I gave myself was time to reflect and to be still and to be with myself. Because only when you are like only present with yourself, then you're able to find those answers. If you're keeping yourself busy, you will not find those answers.
Totally true. So what are the things that kind of you do yourself that works for you, for finding yourself? Because obviously, you do like, there's meditation and there's yoga, but there's so much more to that, right? Like,
Yeah,
what
it
are your
is.
things?
It is. But for me, the biggest part has been meditation and yoga. Absolutely, and also a lot of journaling. That has helped me a lot.
Yeah.
But and also meditation can be so many things. You don't always have to sit you sit still. I do a lot of like movement meditation and a lot of shaking and dancing and connecting with my body in different ways when I meditate, and because I know that my body also holds so many answers to my questions. So sometimes I also have to like move my body in order to get into that place where the body like have the answer to my question, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes complete sense.
Yeah.
It's almost even just as little as going for a walk, like you bring movement to the body and get some fresh air, get yourself out away from the screen or away from whatever it is that you're doing, or just a different scene, and before you know it, you can soon start to realize that things are coming out.
Exactly, and what works for me does not necessarily has to work for you.
Exactly. For sure.
So, like you said, our experiences are completely different.
Yeah.
So yeah. Therefore, I encourage people to have their own experience and not to try to copy paste what others has done, because that would not be the same for you.
Totally. It's definitely something to remember, because everyone's different, and for sure. But it's so interesting, like, just to hear. I think I connect with it so much, and this is one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to you a bit more, because I've been on a very similar journey. So I just really kind of, it's so interesting to hear a very similar story but completely unique as well. And just wanting to kind of talk about it a lot more, but also share again the whole journey, like you've said, with the the breakdowns, the highs, the lows, the constant roller coaster. How did you come about your current business, with, obviously, is it called, so there's Unleash the Depths of You? Is that the name of your business, or is that just the name of kind of part of a course that you're offering?
Yeah, that is like my main offering at the moment. So my business is called under my name, so that is Denise, Elina. And Unleash the Depths of You is actually, we've been talking a lot of about my 2 years soul searching, I call it. And from those 2 years I have so many different experiences, and Unleash the Depths of You is born from those experiences that I had. So that is my main offering, and that is, and in that program I combine yoga, which is more a somatic practice, because I don't really tell people what to do, but I guide them to experience themselves by themselves, kind of. So yeah, it's yoga, coaching, and meditation, supporting each other in one program.
It's very interesting. How did you come about it? When did you kind of come about the idea of the business, and how have you made it grow from there? Because again, throwing yourself into your own business can be quite scary, and hard as well, starting from almost kind of nothing, in the sense of just yourself, and then having to grow that business up and kind of find people, and draw people to you to show them what you offer and what you share, and all that. How have you found that journey, that process?
It's a lot of fun, but also hard, just like everything else. Like, everything that is worth doing will always have, like lows and highs. But the important thing is that the highs are like waiting over the lows, and and that you know that you enjoy the journey and not the result. In this case, destination. So for me, coming back to India, like at that place I realized, okay, this is what I wanted to do, but I did not know how to like share it with the world. So at that place I knew that, okay, I need to dive deeper into myself before I start to share anything, because for me it's very important not to copy paste, to like you only go and see something and then copy paste what others are doing. For me it's really important to like do it and then integrate it and then share it from an experience that are true from your perspective. And so that your teaching comes from an authentic place. And that is super important for me. And yeah, starting a business is hard, and you will also you will also face so many things within yourself when you start a business. And like I said, it's parallel stories all the times, but it's all connected. So when you start your own story, that does not mean that you work with yourself full end. It means that you will have to work with yourself even more.
I love that. That's so true. That's very, very true for sure. And yeah. So like, how did you kind of go about starting the business, and what's perhaps been the hardest of starting it and progressing it? Because how long has it been a thing now? I'm assuming you didn't start it from the very start of these last 2 years. Is it just been over the last year or a bit longer?
Like I've been working with it like for a year, but it has been a lot in the growing phase, and it's like now in the start of 2021 I really feel comfortable and like, okay, now I am in a place where I also can have clients and work with people. And until that has been a lot like working. It's been a lot of like working on myself and like finding myself in this business. And now I feel like, okay, I found myself, and I tried to have one unleashed depths of you for a period of six weeks, and after that I just felt confident that, okay, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to share with the world. So now I'm in a place where I only have to share it and to showing my face, because that is a really big part of starting your own business.
Yeah. What do you do if you're ever you ever have to show up but your energy isn't quite there, or how do you kind of go about that? Because obviously in this kind of line of work and business, it can be quite hard when you have to give so much energy but yours isn't there. So how do you go about that? What do you do?
It truly is. In that moment, like I said, I also think it's very important to be vulnerable and to show who you truly are. So those days when you are a little bit low of energy, I want to share that as well, because that is also a part of being human, and I think when you show like both your highs and lows, that is when you will connect with people. So I think it's important to show both.
That's so right. I think because everyone has the highs and lows, and there's no that you can't just live in the high all the time. Like that just doesn't happen. We all feel emotions, and I think it's so true. If you're always sharing just the highs, then like people aren't gonna connect with that, because it's just not, because they won't be able to connect with like when you have a low yourself, you want to know that you're not the only one. You want to know that it's okay to have a low, to not be okay, and things like that. So sharing both sides is definitely so important and so connective in so many ways.
Yeah, exactly. So coming back to that, those days when I am low, I just keep reminding myself that, okay, when I'm at this place, what I want to see is also people feeling the same way as me. That can be very comforting now I'm losing my words.
Fine.
Comforting.
So not the only one.
That was what I trying to say. So yeah, but it's all about finding the balance.
Yeah.
Truly.
Yeah. No. Definitely is. Definitely. Oh wow. How like. I don't know, I'm really, really intrigued. 'Cause like I said, I've been resonating with this so much.
Yeah.
And it's just, you know, I've obviously followed you, for at least a year now, through my other yoga account, and then on to kind of what Ben and I are doing now. And I mean, I'm always like, oh, look at this girl, like, look at Denise, look at what she's doing now, like, how cool is this? And I remember seeing a photo that you had posted before we actually moved into the van. And you were kind of setting up I think you had like a moon ceremony going on just outside the van, and it was just, I loved how you always managed to create this space for yourself, even with the van, you know, even with minimal space, you always managed to just show up and create this beautiful kind of little space for yourself. And just, it was just so always beautiful to see. And then, like I said, you know, I saw you bought a house, I was like, Ben, she's bought a house in Portugal. Like, this girl is rocking it.
yeah, thank you. Yeah, like I said, it's been a crazy journey.
Yeah,
but
sure.
like, I also want to like pinpoint, like, I'm not doing this all by myself.
Yeah.
Like, me and my fiance are truly a team in this.
Definitely.
I could not have bought a house by myself.
No.
We're doing it together.
And he seems
and I'm
so
super
supportive.
grateful for that.
Yeah, he seems so supportive of everything you do as well. Which is amazing.
He is. I'm lucky.
Yes, definitely. Oh, that's so sweet. But
what have been some sort of, I mean, you've done your yoga teacher training out in India, which sounds like it's going to be a whole story in itself, and you've been in the van, and now you're here. It's sort of like, what are some like highlights that come to mind, like in stories or just moments?
Oh,
If you can
well,
think of any.
like now I'm getting cheesy. Like I said, like I'm mixing boyfriend and fiance, but the truth is that he's my fiance because he proposed to me while we were living van life here in Portugal, and that was just, you know, an amazing moment. We've been through so much together and finally living our dream, and we were out having like swimming in the ocean, and then we just sit on a cliff looking out the ocean and the sunset with our dog. And yeah, we had drinking some wine, and then suddenly he just got down his knees and proposed. And yeah, we also saw some dolphins in the water. That was just
No way.
crazy, ridiculously romantic. So that is a moment that will stick to me during van life, because that tells so much about our van life, but also like us together building this van and creating this life together.
That's so cool. Yeah.
That's sweet. That is definitely again, that's another post I remember seeing, and I was like, she's engaged. Honestly, I've been following you for like just like every kind of because I know that you, for example, started your new social media at the start of the year and stuff, and I remember just seeing it. I was like, yes, I'm gonna follow her. I know what she's doing. I know what it is that she wants to spread. I'm so into it. And all this stuff, and I just think it's just amazing, and you just really do share so much incredible energy and passion, and it's but you're, again, going back to what we said earlier, you're so raw and vulnerable with it as well, which is so important, and I think there's not enough of it out in the world.
Thank you.
so yeah, no. But so again, you said earlier, and I think we've probably said it before in our podcasts, and one of the reasons why we're also doing this podcast is the fact that there is no destination, right? It's a continuous journey. It's a high, it's a low, it's a straight, it's a high, low, again, like over and over, and there's just no destination. And you've been doing this for 2 years now, and you're kind of finally, I guess, starting to pick up off the ground a bit more. And what are you are you just going to continue to do this until things pick up, or have you got some plans in place, or, you know, how are you kind of spreading that time over the next little while as you continue to grow and do this journey?
Oh, good question. The first things first, and that is us moving into our new house.
Yeah.
And from there, I'm just also like, one thing we've been lacking during van life has been to be able to have like roots in one space and to have, you know, a really close community. So I am really looking forward to be able to, you know, settle down and grow our roots and to be a part of a community. So much energy will go to that. And I think from that nourishment, I will focus a lot of like energy on my own business, because it has been hard to start a business while living van life. For me, it is easier to grow your business when you are in one space. Because otherwise, like you experience so much as well when you're out traveling, and also starting your business is also like experience like it happening so many things at the same time.
Yes.
I don't really have time to, you know, integrate it.
Yes.
So really looking forward to, you know, like to really put my full attention to my business in one space, in one place. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that right now.
I bet, honestly, we definitely resonate with this so much, especially with yoga, right? Like trying to do yoga whilst living, or yoga, meditation, that kind of lifestyle whilst living in a van is tough. Like,
It is.
It looks a lot easier than it is. You know, you have the beautiful background behind you and you have the sounds of nature and all that, but actually you're not told about the extra noises of vehicles and people talking and walking around you.
Exactly.
And the rain and the wind and the cold, and that is no complaints at all, you know, like there really is good and not so good to the situation. But yeah, like starting a business whilst on the road, if it's not a business that's perhaps just on your laptop, for example, where you've actually kind of, you know, you need a bit of space, you need some time to just be able to focus on it for longer than maybe a couple of hours and things like that, is definitely not easy, and we agree so much.
Yeah, it is hard. And like you said, like doing, like, especially on social media, it looks so easy, and you know, people doing yoga on by their vans with amazing views and kind of stuff. But again, yoga is not about that. Yoga is really about, you know, the internal experience.
Yes.
So you don't really need much outside of you. So for me, when it happens too much outside of me, I have a hard time to also focus on what's happening inside of me.
Exactly.
Like you really don't have to travel far to experience much. You only have to travel within yourself, and you will experience a lot. And to do both at the same time, to both like experience, like go within yourself and traveling a lot, that can be overwhelming. At least it has been for me. So I had, you know, to focus on one thing at a time. So while living van life, it has been easier to focus on, you know, the external part and, you know, exploring the world. And now I'm looking forward to go back into our house and start to again explore what's within myself again.
That's awesome. That's a really good quote. I get so into these podcasts, listening to them, that I forget that I'm in the podcast. I just start listening to it, and then I'm like, oh, this is life.
I think one of the best things about these podcasts is that, like, obviously we've set them out so that we can kind of show both sides of people's journeys and just to kind of, again, you know, draw others into kind of creating their own dreams and their own path, but just being aware that there are highs and lows and everything. You know, it's not just an easy kind of road from step A to B to C to the destination. Like, there is no destination, and it's just a continuous journey. But we've also found that talking with others on our podcasts just brings us into it so much, and we get so carried away sometimes, and quite often it's things that we ourselves also need to hear without even realising, you know. And there's always a moment in every podcast where we're like, oh yes, like that's what we needed to hear.
Oh, that is lovely.
So, no, it's really awesome. But no, we honestly, like, something we really want to kind of talk more about on this platform as well is the whole van life truth of it's amazing. It really does have some incredible things behind it, but at the same time there's a lot of hidden truths behind it.
It truly is. It truly is. And it, like you said, it's so important to speak about those as well.
Really intrigued to know, whilst we're on this kind of everything comes in threes, I can't think of the word. Whilst we're on this kind of trajectory of van life and the kind of, you know, raw and honest of it, like, especially with your line of business and stuff, what did you find the hardest with living the van life and trying to make some form of, you know, what you really wanted to throw yourself into? Like, what was the hardest thing that you found? Because as an example for us, like, there were days where we really just wanted to get our heads down and just focus on, you know, Ben wanted to do his music and just get his guitar out and his recording equipment, and I just wanted to teach some classes and to deepen myself by doing some courses and all that. But yet we, you know, there were times where we couldn't because, I don't know, we were getting moved on from the police, or we had to find water, the parking wasn't suitable for where we were. You know, there were all kind of little things that just always, or quite often, just came together and just stopped us from doing so much of that to the max, you know, fully in. So for you, was it a similar experience to that, or kind of what was your kind of point where you perhaps realised, okay, van life is awesome, but maybe we should look at rooting ourselves back down again?
Yeah, I actually really like resonate with what you have experienced. It has been, like you said, it has been really, really hard for us to find a routine. Because, like I said, when you travel so much, there are so many things happening outside of you, and it's really hard to like plan your days with that. So yeah, I have been really struggling to find a good routine for myself, and I realized that is the thing I crave the most at the moment. And why it has been hard, that is just because, like, when you move around so much, there are so many hidden things, like you say, that it's always happening, that has to be done, and that, you know, van life comes in the way of having a routine.
Yes.
And also, you know, to, like you said, to dive deeper into a course or anything. Again, if you want to dive deep into a course, that is like an experience within yourself, but at the same time you're traveling, that like there's so many things happening that it gets too much. So
that was like why I had, you know, do you remember when I pulled out of the course that you had offered?
Yeah.
I remember just saying to Ben, like, I want to do this so bad, but I can't bring myself to potentially letting you down every so often and then feeling stressed myself because I don't know if we'll have Wi-Fi. I don't know if the police will come along. I don't know if, you know, there was so much that just didn't make it seem worth it despite it being so worth it. Does that make sense? Like, and I felt like you really felt what I was, when I let you know, like, I felt like rather than being let down, I felt like you really understood, and it was just like, okay, like I took a big breath of air and I was just like, okay, like she understands, and it's just so nice to know that I'm not just in this alone kind of thing.
Absolutely not.
So hearing it now, like even more, and just knowing that you found those struggles as well, and you know, it's just, but you're coming out of them and you've realised them for yourself, and you've kind of found this home now where you can really root and grow as just like you've almost like planted your seeds everywhere, and then now you've that flower has just, you know, started to really open up.
But yeah, it like I totally understand, like, because I've been there myself, and I know how hard it is to commit on something. I'm keep referring to the internal journey while you are on an external journey at the same time.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
I think referring back to that so often, I think is so important because that's where everything comes from, right? Like, if you're not well inside of you, if you don't know who you are, if you don't connect with yourself, your true self, then you know, the rest of the world, the rest of everything you do is just, everything externally just doesn't necessarily feel right. And
exactly. And that is why we also realized that, okay, van life we did not live van life for as long we thought that we would, but we knew deep inside that, okay, but we are over it, even though like it was not so long that we wanted, but we knew that no, we want to do something else now.
And I guess to also remember that that's okay, you know, just because you thought it would be longer,
oh my god,
that's okay,
like
right?
the only thing that is like constant in life, and that is change. The only thing like always happens is change.
It's a guarantee. Even if you try to resist it, change is going to happen.
Yes.
Exactly. So you flow with it, or you work hard and go against it, and that's not a really pleasurable way to do it.
This
really
is
well said.
We're sat here with like the biggest smiles on our face right now. We're not the only ones who are feeling this. Like, hallelujah. Like, you know, I think there really are some incredible things to say about van life. And we, for example, in the 5 months that we were in Europe and the 6 months that we lived in the van, we thought, you know, we had an incredible time. Like, we really did. But what you've said and what we've said to you and the connection that we've had between it just makes sense, you know. Like I said, we weren't the only ones, and it's just so hidden, right? Like, there's just more of it needs to be said. Like, there's good and there's bad, expect both, and just know the balance between both, and know what works best for you, and don't think that you've almost failed at van life because change has happened and you've realised that it's not quite where you feel comfortable and where you can kind of put yourself in, or put, you know.
Exactly.
So amazing. Honestly, thank you so much for sharing that. Like, thank you for just being so honest about that and all that, because I think it's definitely needed. But going back to kind of more of your kind of journey and your business and what you offer and what you're trying to spread out into the world, which, by the way, I think is incredible, and so many more people need to become a part of it and you know about you and hear you and stuff. Like, what is it exactly that you offer then? So, like, what is this course and stuff that you're currently working on, that you've shared and that you're continuing to put out there?
Well, we've been talking a little bit about it, but my main offering at the moment is my 6-week online journey, which is called Unleash the Depths of You. And that is a group journey for you to reconnect to your authentic self. And I just want to add, this offering is only for women. Because something like, I am a woman, and it's easy for me to connect with other women, and something magical happens when women get together and able to share about their experiences, and that is why I kept this like offering only for women. And the way we are like reconnecting to our authentic self is by discovering somatic movement, yoga, meditation, and also by changing perspectives, which mainly happens when I do one-on-one coaching or group coaching. it is truly helpful to to feel things in your body. So because when you feel things in your body, things can get up in the surface. But when they're up in the surface, you can need some help to shift the perspective, or like to see what happened from a different perspective, to understand it in another way. So in that way, like coaching and yoga and meditation really support each other. And that is why I thought it was so important to have all of those in one program. And that is why I have included everything, because I only channeling my own experiences by guiding you to have your own experience. So I don't want you to have my experience. That is super important. But I want to guide you to have your own experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. That's really cool.
So yeah, that's the main thing that I'm offering at the moment.
Sweet. And can people find you via your Instagram, your website? What's kind of the best way to
Well, people can find me both on Instagram, and that is this is Denise Elina, and they can find me on my website, which is called deniseelina.com. But you can also find my website by clicking into my Instagram bio.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we will definitely put that in the description of this
Cool.
podcast, just to make sure that people are able to kind of head there and dive a little bit more into what it is that you're offering, which is really, really awesome. And we'll just finish off with some quick fire questions that we like to kind of put out there to to close the podcast. But one thing that we haven't actually, I for some reason really would like to ask, that we haven't really kind of asked anyone else before, and I just know because you obviously read some books. And what books, do you have a particular book that you would recommend for people to perhaps that you've really resonated with, that you want to share with others? Like, what's your top book, or your top 3, or?
Oh, I have so many books. Okay, which one should we start with? I'm listening to a really, really good book right now, which is called Body Keeps the Score. Okay. And it's about trauma and how trauma is staying in the body, and how it's manifested throughout the body. It is super interesting. And then I also read a book that is called It's Not Always Depression. And that it's about a psychological tool, which is called the change triangle. And that book was also like, it's really good if you want to have a tool on how to work with yourself. So I think those 2 books are like the books that had like the biggest impact on me during this last 6 months.
Amazing.
Ish. Yeah.
That's really sweet. I'm gonna check those out for sure.
Yeah.
But no, that's really interesting. I think it's always nice to kind of share, books that we're all reading and stuff, just to kind of. I think books can be so helpful in so many ways, and especially books along the lines of what it is that you kind of work in and work with and stuff. So that's awesome. Thank you. I'll also put those in the description, I think.
Yeah.
Cool. But quickfire questions. Is there a grand experience that you're yet to kind of do, or that you really would like to do, or are you literally just still one thing at a time, do this house first, do you not kind of look too far ahead? If you do, what is it, if you want to share it, and bit of fun, bit of excitement?
Well, this is gonna sound super boring, but like I said, there has been happening so many things in my life. So the only thing that I need, like the grand gesture I can give myself right now, is just some calmness and rootness. So yeah, like I don't really looking forward for some grand gestures. I only want to like become a part of this community and to grow roots, because so my grand gestures right now really lies within the the small things in life.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, perfect response. I love it. Last question. What mantra do you go by? What is your mantra? Be that just one today or one for every day or this week's, or what is a mantra you like to share with us?
Yes, a mantra that always has been with me is that everything always works out. Always.
Yes.
Like
100%.
in one way or another, things will work out. Yeah.
Again, going back to what we said, even if it's not the plan you had set out, things will change, but it will always...
Exactly.
I love it.
Exactly.
Love
Yeah,
that.
this mantra will work if you're open to change.
Yes. Oh, love it.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, it has been so awesome to speak with you. Thank you so much for sharing everything, for coming on, being a guest, for opening up, and for just being so fun and giggly and just lighthearted and everything we kind of needed right now, and especially on this podcast as well. It's been really lovely to talk with you.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for having me.
No,
It has
honestly,
been
it's our
pleasure.
Yeah, it's our pleasure.
Even though I'm like, getting stuck on my words as well.
I mean, you're saying that to me, so it's fine. We're both there. It's all good. But no, honestly, we've really enjoyed hearing your journey, and we look forward as well to. Well, I look forward to seeing what kind of, where it goes next and what you keep offering. And I'm sure Ben is really excited to hear me share it with him as well.
Great.
But no, honestly.
Yeah. If you ever come to Portugal again, you know where.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Well,
where
bearing in mind
get a coffee.
we still have a van meetup to do because we had said that we would, right? Like, months ago we said that we would, and then it never happened because Portugal closed and lockdowns and life happened.
Yeah.
So we
Exactly.
are definitely, it's definitely in the calendar. So we will 100% organise that meetup for one day in the future for sure.
Yeah.
But have a wonderful rest of your day, week, weekend.
Thank
whatever
you.
end up doing.
And you too, guys.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Good luck with the house as well. We'll be sure to.
Yeah, thank you.
stay in
Thank
touch
you.
with
And
that.
take care of each other.
You too. And say hello to, is it Klaus?
Yeah, Klaus.
Awesome.
Klaus and Lulu.
Yes, say hello to both of them as well from us.
Yeah, I will.
Awesome. Perfect. We'll speak to you soon for sure.
Yes, we will.
Alrighty. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
You have been listening to the Less Trodden Path podcast with Laura and Benedict. Make sure you subscribe to us on whichever platform it is you're using. If you would like to feature on the Less Trodden Path podcast, then head over to our website, thelesstroddenpath.com. Thank you for listening. The Less Trodden Path podcast is sponsored by imakesounds.com, music for content creators. If you're looking for royalty-free music to feature on your own podcast, blogs, YouTube videos and more, then head over to imakesounds.com.